Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Domain Format Gameplay, where I show off Yu-Gi-Oh's coolest multiplayer format. Today, I've got some very special guests joining me playing some devious decks. We've all chosen to be villains from Yu-Gi-Oh's history and build decks based on those characters. First up, I took on the role of Weevil Underwood, using Parasite as my deck master, giving me the domains of Earth and Insect. It's not a very strong engine piece, and in 60-card decks, the chances my opponents have of drawing into this card once I shuffle it into their deck is slim, but it is iconic, and does give me access to all the cards that I need for the deck. I'll be aiming to use the goofier insect support, mainly Giant Ballpark and all the stuff revolving around normal insects and equip spells on insects, while keeping some good B-Troopers and Ragnaraikas in the extra deck just in case things get hairy. Nel Celestine, the rogue VTuber, is bringing a bit more style and whimsy to the proceedings by representing Maximilian Pegasus. Her deckmaster will be Toon Dark Magician Girl, giving her the domains of Dark, Spellcaster, and Toon. Not only can Toon DMG be deployed from the Deckmaster Zone at a moment's notice and attack as soon as she hits the field, unlike most other Toons, this also gives her access to Pegasus's other win condition, the Harrowing Relinquished. Between scooping up the opponent's board and attacking directly with huge monsters, her deck is going to be a force to be reckoned with. CoffeeNinjaRyu, the proprietor of the Coffee Ninja Coffee House, has decided that 5Ds is a bit more his flavor, calling upon the power of Dark Signer Carly Carmine. Fortune Lady Past will be his deckmaster, giving him the domains of Dark, Spellcaster, and Fortune Lady, and he'll be looking to use the deck's surprisingly robust engine to dig for cards, get free link material, and lean into Carly's tarot tendencies with backup from the Prophecy monsters. And last, but certainly not least, is the Cyber Dragon Queen herself, VioletNova, bringing things back to DM with the most terrifying duelist of them all, Yami Bakura, using Dark Necrofear as her deckmaster, granting the domains of Dark and Fiend. Not only will she be making use of Bakura's ghoulish gaggle of otherworldly oddities, but it is also looking to fiend a quick win with Destiny Board, a card that's much more terrifying when you have 2 extra opponents' end phases to get spirit messages in. We'll get the game started in just a moment, but before we get to the festivities, please remember to like, subscribe, and share down below who you think will win in today's episode. I'd love to see who's the favorite going into this. Violet wins the die roll and starts us off, leading with Dark Spirit Mastery, discarding Spirit Message A from hand as cost to add Destiny Board from her deck to her hand. Then, she'll activate Terraforming to search out Bakura's signature field spell, Dark Sanctuary. This card is already pretty dangerous in a 1v1 game, but it gets even scarier in multiplayer. That's because Dark Sanctuary's effect when monsters attack doesn't trigger when a monster attacks the owner, but when any opponent's monsters attack at all. So we better watch out if we want to go on the offensive. After that, Violet will set 2 cards face down in the back row, then play Ectoplasmer and Dark Sanctuary before passing turn. I'm up next and I lead with the field spell Giant Ballpark. I'll normal summon Insect Knight because I don't really have much else at the moment, but we do get to have some fun. I go to the end phase, which causes Ectoplasmer's mandatory effect to trigger, causing me to tribute the Insect Knight. I point the 950 damage it causes to Ryu, since the last game we all had, he basically ran away with the game, and I am not giving him a second chance to do that. But, because the effect of an opponent's card sent one of my monsters to the grave, Giant Ballpark triggers, letting me summon a normal insect monster from my grave. And would you look at that? Insect Knight is a normal insect, so we'll get it right back onto the board. With that all resolved, I pass turn. Nel starts off by special summoning Toon Cyber Dragon from her hand, then will activate Toon Table of Contents. This will search out Toon Kingdom, then she'll activate Toon Bookmark to grab Red Eye's Toon Dragon from her deck. Once that's done, she'll activate Toon Kingdom, banishing the top 3 cards of her deck face down. For her normal summon, Nel will bring out Breaker the Magical Warrior, which DM fans will know is a monster that does not mix well with Weevil.
I didn't even think about putting Breaker.
We're going up against Haga. How could I not?
Seriously?
Wait, hold on there. Just be cool, man.
Throw him from the train!
Nel will proceed to use Breaker's effect, spending its one and only spell counter to get rid of Ectoplasmer, since no one else is going to have as much fun with it as the 2 Novas are. With all that taken care of, she'll pass turn. Ryu begins his turn with Graceful Charity, drawing 3 cards and discarding Fortune Fairy Who and the Golden Sword Soul. He'll set a monster, 2 back row, and activate Future Visions, unlocking the achievement of all players controlling a field spell at the same time. As the last player in turn order, Ryu is the first to get the battle phase, but doesn't have the means to use it effectively, so he'll pass over to Violet. She'll start off by activating Zoma, the Earthbound Spirit, summoning it to the field, going to the battle phase, and attacking over Breaker, the Magical Warrior. This would deal Nel some damage, but I will use Giant Ballpark's effect because, like Dark Sanctuary, it also doesn't care who takes battle damage. I'll prevent the battle damage, sending Basic Insect from my deck to the graveyard, and because I sent a normal monster, I can special summon all monsters sharing its name from my hand, deck, or graveyard. And would you look at that, Basic Insect has the same name as Basic Insect. Once that's all taken care of, Violet will begin the countdown to our demise by activating Destiny Board. With our lives flashing before our very eyes, she passes over to me. I go right to battle phase and attempt to run over Zoma with my Insect Knight, as its battle prowess can no longer be ignored. However, Dark Sanctuary wins the coin toss, which means my Knight's attack is negated and I take 950 points of damage. I'm starting to know how Ryu feels now. I'll set my Parasite from my deck master zone as well as a back row, and pass it over to Nel as Violet sets the letter E to the monster zone, thanks to Dark Sanctuary's effect. Nel will start by normal summoning Black Stone of Legend, which will be banished by the effect of Future Visions. After that, she'll tribute Toon Cyber Dragon to special summon her deck master, Toon Dark Magician Girl, and she'll go in to attack Zoma. Ryu activates one of his set cards, Magical Circle. Because Nel attacked with a spellcaster monster, we each get to special summon a spellcaster monster from our decks. Neither me nor Violet have one to benefit from this, but Ryu has Mystic Piper, while Nel can special summon out Toon Gemini Elf. The good news is that she wins the coin flip to allow the attack to resolve. The bad news is Zoma's burn damage, hitting Nel for the full 3,000 damage. However, I will, once again, use Giant Ballpark to prevent battle damage, sending Big Insect from deck to grave to special summon it. That's all she has for the turn, so the game passes over to Ryu. At this point, a hitch appears in Violet's game plan as the Spirit Message A that she discarded for Dark Spirit's Mastery is still stuck in the grave, so our message can't continue, taking a little pressure off of us to find an answer. Ryu will start by tributing the Mystic Piper for a draw, revealing Spellbook of the Master. This means he doesn't get the extra draw, but that's not too bad since he'll follow that up with Dark Hole, blowing up all of my monsters. However, Nel keeps her Toon safe by banishing cards from the top of her deck using Toon Kingdom's effect. I should get a monster here from Giant Ballpark, but I completely forget about it. Ryu's set monster was Witch of the Black Forest, so he'll use its effect to search out Apprentice Magician. He'll set a mysterious monster, then pass over to Violet. She'll start by dashing our hopes that Destiny Board will no longer be a problem by using Dark Spirit Mastery's Grave effect, banishing it from there and putting the Spirit Message A on the bottom of her deck to draw a card. That's all she has in the tank though, presently, so she'll pass over to me. I'm not in much of a position to do much either though. I'll pay 500 life points for my second deck master summon, setting Parasite, and during my end phase, Violet will set the Spirit Message letter A to her monster zone. Nel's turn will start with Black Stone of Legend returning to the field. After that, she'll activate Graceful Charity, drawing 3 cards and discarding Red Eye's Toon Dragon and Thousand Eyes Idol. From here, she'll link Toon Dark Magician Girl and Toon Gemini Elf into Dark the Dark Charmer, using its effect to summon out Ryu's Witch of the Black Forest. Those two will then get linked into Celine, using its effect to reborn one of the Toon's spellcasters, while Ryu triggers the effect of the Witch that was stolen from him, searching out Spellbook Magician of Prophecy. Nel will then link Celine and the Toon into Access Code Talker, banishing Celine from grave to destroy Destiny Board, ending the threat of an auto loss, at least for now. Then she'll activate 1-for-1, discarding Toon Alligator to summon from the deck Jester Confit. Next, she'll normal summon Golden Eyes Idol, though that will also be banished thanks to Ryu's Future Visions. Nel will then go to battle phase, aiming to take down Ryu's face down card. It's a big gamble since Dark Sanctuary is still on the field, but she wins the coin toss! This destroys Ryu's Apprentice Magician, using its effect to summon out Synchro Fusionist from his deck. She'll then attack Violet with Jester Confit, wins the coin toss, and gets in for 0 damage. Glad we're all having fun here. With that finished, we pass over to Ryu. Ryu will normal summon the Spellbook Magician of Prophecy that he searched earlier, which will both get the search of a Spellbook spell card, as well as getting banished by the effect of Future Visions, tucking it safely away in the banishment. The search will get Ryu's Spellbook of Fate, then he'll activate Spellbook of Secrets, grabbing Spellbook of Knowledge. He'll then use Spellbook of the Master, revealing that knowledge in hand to copy Spellbook of Secrets in the graveyard, searching out the Grand Spellbook Tower, which he'll then play over Future Visions so we can all normal summon like, well, normal. Though this does mean that Blue Boy and Golden Eyes Idol are now forever trapped in the void. Once that's done, he'll fire off Raigeki to destroy all of Nel's monsters, but doesn't have anything to follow up with, so he'll pass turn. Violet begins by using Dark Contract with the Master, attributing Darkest Diablos to bring out the most based monster in her deck, probably the hypest moment in the entire duel, Dark Master Zork. She proceeds to roll the bones, landing on 5, which is used to pop Synchro Fusionist. This leaves the doors wide open for Zork to go in for a direct attack against Ryu, and with that, Violet passes to me. When we get to the main phase, I finally flip my Parasite Parasite. I choose Ryu to hold onto it, then I'll fire off my own Graceful Charity. I draw 3 cards, then discard Larva Moth and Cockroach Knight, which will get placed on top of my deck thanks to its trigger effect. With my new cards, I'll activate Giant Ball Game, a card I didn't even know existed until deck building happened. I'll use its first effect to revive Basic Insect. Then, I'll fire off Giant Ballpark's second effect, revealing Insector Gigamantis from my hand. I'll target Basic Insect because its attack is lower than Gigamantis, as well as Violet Zork, swapping control of those 2 monsters. And now that I wield the might of the Dark Master, I roll the dice to command its power and... Yeah!
Oh, blow up all of your monsters.
Oh
Here
my
you go.
god.
Here's your Zork back.
Oh my god.
Oh well, I'll proceed to normal summon Petite Moth, thinking that I can equip Gigamantis to it for another card, but then I realized it only equips to Insector monsters. So, instead of the big play that I wanted, I'll instead go to battle phase and attack Ryu with Petite Moth, and the attack goes through Dark Sanctuary. But not so fast! I will once again trigger the effect of Giant Ballpark, negating the damage from Petite Moth and sending Killer Needle from my deck to the graveyard, and would you look at that, Killer Needle has the same name as Killer Needle, so I'll summon it to the field. I'll try to attack Ryu with the new monster, but this time I do lose to Dark Sanctuary, taking 600 damage. I'm just getting really greedy tonight. When we go to main phase 2, I'll play Insect Imitation, attributing Killer Needle. I'll use it to special summon Bio Insect Armor from my deck, and once again, my equip tactics aren't working the way I want them to. You can't equip Bio on the field to a monster, only from the hand or grave. So instead, I'll link it and the Petite Moth into Shinobi Insect Hagaku Reimino, which is thankfully pointing to Violet's basic insect, thus enabling its continuous effect, warding off attacks. Then, I'll equip the Bio Insect Armor to it from the grave, I'll set a card, and pass turn. Nel will activate her Black Stone of Legend in the graveyard, putting Red Eye's Toon Dragon back into her deck to get the stone back into her hand. Then, she'll normal summon Toon Goblin Attack Force, and that does it for her, so she'll pass over to Ryu. During his standby phase, the Grand Spellbook Tower will trigger, letting him put Spellbook of the Master on the bottom of his deck to draw a card. He'll start turn by activating 1-for-1, discarding Fortune Lady Fire to special summon Fortune Lady Light from his deck. He'll proceed to use Spellbook of Knowledge, sending Light from the field to the graveyard to draw 2 cards, and guess what? Knowledge sends monsters to graveyard as an effect, which then triggers Light's effect, letting Ryu special summon Fortune Lady Dark from his deck. From there, he'll activate, guess what? Spellbook of the Master, which he just put on the bottom of his deck thanks to his field spell, which means we know that it got shuffled as part of the 1-for-1, and he ended up drawing it with Knowledge. Isn't that incredible? He'll reveal Fate for the cost, copying Spellbook of Secrets, using that to grab Spellbook of Wisdom. Then, he'll play Fate, banishing 3 Spellbook spells from his graveyard to get the Banish mode. This will be used to rid the field of Dark Sanctuary, so now we can attack with no fear, which is great because attacking is what Fortune Lady Dark does best. It'll attack over Violet's basic insect, which triggers a lot of effects. Ryu's Fortune Lady Dark will summon a Fortune Lady from grave, while my Shinobi Insect, seeing a monster that it pointed to being destroyed, will bring back my Insect Knight to its bottom link point. When Fortune Lady Dark resolves, it'll get Fortune Lady Fire, aiming its effect at Insect Knight, burning me for 1900 damage. Youch! Fire will then go to attack Violet, and she'll respond with her original Zoma. However, Ryu will counter with the counter trap card, Bending Destiny, negating the effect and banishing Zoma, though it will go back to Violet's hand during the end phase. Fire will continue to attack, but I'll negate the battle damage with Giant Ballpark again, getting Gokibor onto the field this time around. During main phase 2, Ryu will set a card and pass it over to Violet. Violet proceeds to fire off Allure of Darkness, drawing 2 cards and banishing Dark Spirit of Banishment, how appropriate. She'll set 2 back row, then pass over to me. On my turn, I'll go ahead and pull the trigger on Cocoon of Ultra Evolution. I'll tribute the Shinobi Insect equipped with Bio Insect Armor, special summoning Metamorphosed Insect Queen. I'll also use the Grave effect of Cocoon, putting Petite Moth back into my deck to draw a card. From here, I'll use Giant Ball Game again, revealing the Giga Mantis, giving Gokibor to Ryu so I can take his Fortune Lady Dark. Or at least, I'll try to, but he'll chain Spellbook of Wisdom to keep Dark safe. This does, however, mean that Ryu still gets my little gift. Because it doesn't say we have to swap control of both, it just swaps control of them. Wow, the Orichalcos Weevil references just keep happening, huh? From here, I'll activate Zentrite Ko-O, pitching Giga Mantis to special summon Inzektor Hornet from my deck, using its effect to equip the Mantis from Grave to it, making Hornet a 2400 attack monster. Now, since I haven't used my normal summon, I'll bring out Propagandic, using its effect declaring Insect, making its own type Insect, thus changing every monster type on the field to Insects. With that concluded, I'll go to battle phase and run over Fortune Lady Fire with the Empowered Hornet. Metamorphosed Insect Queen will attack Fortune Lady Dark, and then I'll run my Propagandic into the Gokibor, nullifying the battle damage that I would take with Ballpark to summon out the Petite Moth that I just shuffled into the deck. In main phase 2, I'll link Petite Moth and Propagandic into Inzektor Pico Felina, discarding Cockroach Knight for its effect. Pico will equip Resonance Insect from my deck to Metamorphosed Insect Queen, and Cockroach Knight will go back on top of my deck. I'll follow up with Pico's second effect, shuffling 3 insects from my grave back into the deck to draw a card, putting Basic Insect, Big Insect, and Petite Moth back in there. With that big turn done, I'll pass it over to Nel. She'll fire off Dark Hole, looking to clear the field, but thankfully only destroys the Gokibor. Toon Goblin Attack Force survives because of Toon Kingdom, while my insects survive thanks to Metamorphosed Insect Queen's protection. After that, she'll normal summon the Blackstone of Legend, tributing it to summon Red Eye's Toon Dragon from the deck. She'll go to battle phase, ending Ryu with one swift swing from the Toon Goblin Attack Force. It'll then swap to defense position, and with that, Nel passes over to Violet. She'll start by firing off Fiend Griefing, shuffling back Nel's Blackstone of Legends while sending the terrifying Toddler of Torment from her deck to the graveyard, triggering its effect to summon itself face down. After that, she'll activate the field spell Lair of Darkness, but doesn't have any further follow-up, so she'll pass to me. I'll start my turn by using Pico Felina's second effect, shuffling back Horn Needle, Gokibor, and Larva Moth to get a draw. I'll fire off Hidden Armory, milling a perfectly ultimate Great Moth to grab Weevil Standby, Insect Armor with Laser Cannon. I equip it to Pico Felina to give her some staying power, then I'll go to battle phase, using the Empowered Hornet to run over Violet's Toddler, giving her the opportunity to send a Fiend monster from deck to grave. She'll choose Arima, the Wicked Warden, and from there, I'll attack Violet directly with Pico Felina. She'll counter with Zoma to block, and once it's a monster, I'll respond with my Lair Wire, banishing my perfectly ultimate Great Moth to pop it. Once that's done, I'll resolve Pico's attack. I'll then also attack Violet directly with Metamorphosed Insect Queen, but now I realize I'm in a bit of a pickle. Nel, with the right cards, is in a position to attack me directly for lethal with the right summon, so I actually want Violet to live to give Nel another, hopefully threatening target. So I'll tribute Hornet for Metamorphosed Insect Queen's next attack, but then direct it towards Red Eye's Toon Dragon to deal Nel some extra damage. Not so fast, me! I'll use the effect of Giant Ballpark to negate the damage and get Killer Needle into my graveyard, and guess what? Killer Needle has the same name as Killer Needle, so I'll summon it to the field. In main phase 2, I'll link off Pico and Killer Needle to make Seraphim Papillon, giving it 2 counters. So, with a hope and a prayer, I'll pass turn, remembering that I make tokens with my Insect Queen during each end phase. Nel will go right to battle phase and use Red Eye's Toon Dragon to attack me directly, but say it with me folks, not so fast! I'll use Giant Ballpark to negate the damage and summon out Gokibor from my deck. That's it for Nel, so she'll pass, and I make another token with Insect Queen, while also using Papillon's effect to summon back Inzektor Hornet from my grave. On Violet's turn, she'll normal summon Fiendish Rhino Warrior, then banish Zork, Toddler, and Arima from grave to summon her deck master, Dark Necrophia. This will give Nel a target for her Toon Mask, summoning out Toon Dark Magician. Violet will go to battle, using Rhino Warrior to attack over Hornet. Dark Necrofear will go to attack Seraphim Papillon, and things get a little goofy from here. Because Papillon still has a counter, it's got 100 more attack than Necrofear. Now, it shouldn't go to the graveyard because of battle thanks to Rhino's protection, but none of us catch that. And even in this scenario, Necrofear can't actually use its grave effect because every other monster on the field that she could use it on has targeting protection. So it's all kind of a wash. With that all finished, Violet ends her turn. On my turn, I'll use Seraphim Papillon's last counter to summon back Hornet, and now I have to commit, because that Goblin attack force isn't going to stay sideways for long. I'll link Hornet and Papillon for Giant Bee Trooper Invincible Atlas, tributing one of the tokens to make its attack 5,000 for the turn. I'll change Gokipole to attack and go to battle phase. Invincible Atlas will attack over Red Eye's Toon Dragon for some damage. It'll survive thanks to Toon Kingdom, so I continue the onslaught. Metamorphosed Insect Queen will attack Red Eyes to deal more damage, and because the multi-attack is not limited to once per turn, nor does it stop me from attacking the same monster, I'll tribute Link Spider to attack Toon Dragon again. This time, Nel will elect to not protect Toon Dragon since Dark Magician has a bit more attack power. I'll tribute Gokibore to make another attack with Insect Queen, hitting Toon Dark Magician and dealing just enough damage to take Nel out of the game. Then, by tributing my last other monster, Invincible Atlas, Queen gets one more attack to finish the game by attacking Fiendish Rhino Warrior. Good grief, that was a great game. Ryu got some pretty good plays in across the spell books and Fortune Lady part of the deck. Violet struck the fear of God on us thanks to Destiny Board, Dark Sanctuary, and Zork, and even though Nel's Toontown didn't amass a huge army, their big stats and direct attacking capabilities meant she could have run away with the game at any moment if things had gone a little better for her. I'm pretty happy with how the normal and equip insect strategy went myself. Turns out, Giant Ballpark is pretty good in multiplayer. But with all that covered, what was your favorite part of the game? Who was your favorite combatant? And also, what kind of game would you like to see us play in the future? As always, a like, comment, and subscribe go a long way towards helping the video out, and please show some love to my wonderful guests. This stream and game were hella fun to do, and I'm so thankful they agreed to play. Today's episode is brought to you by my lovely patrons, as well as the wonderful people over at Dragon Shield. Get the sleeves as strong as dragon scales and save 5% on your order by using the coupon code GoldenNova at checkout. And speaking of those lovely patrons, I'd like to give them a thanks right now. This month's Quasar Commander is Upstairs Media, Nebula Navigators are Third Dynasty, 50 Gigabits, Ada Basilisk, Adam Zajdel, Owexatowe Hime, Anansi Dragon, Ancient Wizard, Andrew Newman, Kane Senpai, Chibi Gohan, Christopher Fuss, Clockswork, Comrade Copperbottom, Emily Chan, Eric, Frankie, Garland Chaos, Green Knight, Gloomba331, Great Big Pillock, Groog, Hairbear, Harry the Ominous Benefactor, Howling Zangetsu, Iron Zero, Iskander711, Carp, Leo458, Mana Charge, Marion James E. Picata, Megacombi, Millennia Asta, Mern, Nathan Vig, Natiel Lee Alexander, Orozco 09096, Panther J, Rebel King Lucifer, Red Eyes Jackalow, RJ the Jank Monarch, Sammy Haim, Serenity Towns, Skybuster Leo, The Critic of Innocence, Thievery Coast and the Wizard Moose, Cosmic Crusaders Ariel Kersey, Baron von Titty Sprinkles, Beelzephyr, Beluga Master, Blitzwolf, Borger with a Shotgun, Chaz Ghost, Childish Lamar, Dr. Reaper RIP, Drachenwald, Eki Bullock, Eva Padilla, Hike Boyagian, Herbal D, Ignis Heath the True Draco Slayer, Inblink, Kale the Dragon, Kevon Public, Lobomaru02, Manga Pages, Marluxia's a Girl, Matt Simmons, McSpoofy, Michael Shimabukuro, Night Trummo, Nyx, Obsidian, Shizuka Nijimura, Sophie, apparently, Stephen Williamson, Taylor Seymour, The Legendary Raven, The Phantom Knights of Shitted Pants, The Pokemon 52, Tiger X2476, Visor KG, Zeldreka and Zalus, as well as the wonderful Starlight Explorers you see on screen now. If you liked what you saw and want to help me in my journey to cover all of Yu-Gi-Oh's archetypes, get my videos early, be a part of these credits, and other awesome perks, it would mean the world to me if you would check out the links to my Patreon in the description or consider joining as a YouTube member. And if you liked what you saw and want to see even more domain format gameplay, click on this link where you can see me and my friends use that format to play as Yugi, Kaiba, Joey, and a mysterious fourth DM character. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.